For those of you who have been living under a rock the last year, I have a news flash for you. The Donald is the president of the United States. What else is he going to be president of? His own company? Yeah. The Constitution up and did what it was designed to do. It allowed a citizen to be a politician and run this country. That's what makes this country so great. Not only do politicians get to run for president, the average American can. And now we have somebody in the White House who is not tainted by the power that's been in Washington, taking sides, but somebody who has the potential to work with either side, both sides preferably, and he says he's going to, and time will tell. Right now, people are kind of in a panic. This has been the most polarizing election I've ever seen. Not that I've seen tons of them, but I've seen enough of them to know this one was the craziest one ever. I kind of owe the Donald an apology. When he first started running during the primaries, I kind of thought, this guy isn't serious about this. He's just a billionaire who's wanting to do something just to add to his resume. He doesn't really want to be president. But the longer things went along, the more I realized this guy's serious about this. He thinks he can really help this country. He has some answers. I was kind of glad he won the primary because all these years I've been waiting for a perfect candidate. I've been writing in Donald Duck. Now this year I could finally vote for Donald and my vote actually counted. So thank you. Seriously, people are in a panic right now. I mean, it's incredible. Whether Christians or non-Christians, they either love this guy or they hate him. There's not much middle ground. Those that hate him, everything is getting turned against him. And the media definitely does not like this guy. And the slightest little thing can turn things around upside down and backwards. The Constitution is a fabulous article. It was designed so one person could not derail this country. There are checks and balances there. If the Donald goes off the deep end with something, we've got courts, we've got the legislature who checks and balances are gonna correct anything he's trying to do that's going too far. I got one word for everybody out there, whether they want to smash things up because they're throwing a tantrum or they want to fall in love with this guy. Just get a one-word response, just chill. All right? Everybody just chill. We're going to be all right. I mean, I remember my dad thought Ronald Reagan was going to run this country into the ground. 8 years after he took office, things were better than it had been in a long time. 8 years after Barack Obama, the country's still going. We may have some things to fix. That's just my opinion. Now things have gone to the other extreme as far as a person in power, so it's going to take a little adjustment for a lot of people. The electoral process had its way, and this is who we've got. So let's give them a chance. One other thing that's concerned me, 1973, something happened that I don't understand. The Constitution is designed so that, okay, laws are made, decisions are made by the courts, whether the laws are good or not and need adjusting, and it goes all the way up to the Supreme Court. Okay, Supreme Court makes a decision. It can't go any higher, so that sticks. The Constitution is also designed so if the Supreme Court makes a stupid decision, the American people have a way to correct that. We can add an amendment to the Constitution that will override a decision of the Supreme Court. So instead of everybody just sitting on our hands, waiting for another court case to come through to overturn Roe v. Wade and make abortions illegal again, we can actually ratify a new amendment to the Constitution saying that fetuses, embryos from conception on have full constitutional rights. And we should also put to the other extreme that anybody at any age has full constitutional rights in this country, because one of the effects of abortion being legal is euthanizing people who, generation from now or less, younger people might decide anybody over the age of 80 is useless. They're just taking up our money and they're not contributing to society. So that should also be put in there. To my opinion, I just don't understand how we've been sitting on our hands for so long, not correcting what the Supreme Court says when we have rights to change that ourselves. So I think God has given us the ability. Now, God has given us the command to speak for those who can't speak for themselves. And the unborn children are that population that needs us to stand up for them. So I'm just asking everybody listening to this to think about it. And let's get a grassroots effort going to change things, to make things a lot more permanent than maybe in the next 4 years we'll get a Supreme Court that will overturn abortion, and then who knows, 4, 8, 12 years later, it gets overturned. So we're back where we started, where if we can add an amendment to the Constitution, the Supreme Court can't touch it. I think that's the best option, and I don't know why that hasn't been taken into consideration and actually put into practice. But let's do it, okay? For Jesus' sake, for the children. They need us to stand up for them. I'll see you later.